I'll do the countdown.
Okay.
3, 2,
Countdown.
1, go.
Go.
It's me, Mario.
Right, you can proceed.
Alright. Yeah, so Super Mario Treasure World was the hardest Kaiser ROM hack at the time of its release. The hardest before that, the hardest large one was Extreme Edition, and besides that there was the demo for Twisted Adventures Intense Challenge. But this one increased the difficulty over both of those with Silken Steering Red Coins. We're not going to do T-Reds in this run, we're going to do 115 stars. And 115 stars is the intended star count for unlocking and beating the final boss stage, and we're going to be beating the final boss stage without a major skip to get to that final boss stage. We will be doing one major skip, but not for the final boss stage, just doing a major skip for extra stars. Right, looks like...
Yeah, as you mentioned, this was before the Super Kaizo era. Like, TD Reds became kind of the threshold for what is considered Super Kaizo. Like, anything that's harder than TD Reds is considered Super Kaizo, pretty much. Like, this was really a milestone in the Kaizo genre, as you would say. Like, this really redefined what is possible by humans. Like, back then, TD Reds was considered impossible, but people just got that much better, and now TD Reds is an easy star for some reason. And people can do it multiple times in a row. Oh yeah, very
easy
important
might be a
hack.
bit of an exaggeration. Easy might be a bit of an exaggeration, it is still one of the very difficult stars, but there are nowadays dozens of people, many dozens of people who have completed Cooking 3 Red Coins at least once in their life, and a similar amount of people, most of them have beaten all 182 stars in this game. It has a relatively steep difficulty curve, so if you can do the hardest star, you can most likely do all of them. As we are seeing in this first course, as the Scooter Fool might have already noticed, we are playing on version 1.2.1, I think, where the warps to where the exit warps from course 1, course 6, and course 11 are fixed, so you don't spawn back at the start of the overworld, you spawn back right next to the course entrance, and that takes a little bit of time. Another version difference is that, as opposed to version 1.0, which was the original release, the finale exists, and Bowser 3 is no longer accessible through a 120-star door in the overworld. In return, the 115-star door, which did already exist on 1.0, now has a special room with a 1-up, so you don't game over, and it's a marathon-safe way to...
Those walkings, by the way, that I did for those 2 stars are not intended.
Yeah, there is also an easier path up to that place. It's relatively simple platforming. Course 1 is not that difficult. It is difficult in the speedrun, but it's not that difficult casually.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this game has a very steep difficulty curve. Like, the first few courses could be considered casual level.
I like Kaizo.
Especially course 1. I know. If you want to try out this game, you can definitely get some stars, even if you are a beginner. But it will get a lot harder once you progress to the next overworlds.
Yeah, I did open up the game in like early 2020 and got to, I think, 31 stars before I took a break. And the difficulty is, in large parts of the game, a bit higher than Remnant of Doom, I would say, a bit higher than Star Wars 2.5, but not enormously higher, until you get to like the mid-game, the late mid-game, and then it becomes much harder and rivals a game like King's Revenge 2, which is a full-on Kaizo hack. with where you actually really need Kaiser skill to get through this fun in that game. But we are still in course 1, we're speedrunning, and the speedrunning is kind of the only reason it's hard. Outside of this one section here, that is the only section with quicksand in course 1, so if we fall here, we would have to redo the entire part start. Outside of that, course 1 is easy.
Taking it safe there.
Amps above quicksand is always a funny obstacle.
Yeah, because if you get hit, the thing is, if you get hit, even if this wasn't a mechanic, you would be dead because you would be falling down all the way to the quicksand and there would be nothing you could do, but instead of that, the amp just directly downwards you into the quicksand, and it's kind of funny. It can feel mean, it can feel unfair, but the reality of the situation is, if you get hit by an amp over quicksand, even if that wasn't how it works, you would still be dead because you would just fall down and then die in quicksand. So it just speeds things up.
So it's actually speedrunner friendly.
Yeah. One caveat is you do not get the option to ledge grab, which you would get if you didn't get downward, but that's relatively minor. Alright, so that's all 7 stars in course 1 done. There are no additional stars. So this game, the entire game, every single stage in this game has 7 stars. And we got all of them in course 1, because course 1 is relatively fast. Now moving on to course 2. Super Mario Treasure World has difficult platforming even in the overworld. It's not as difficult as the stages, especially the later stages, but it is still platforming that tests your skill and requires a bit. We did take some shortcuts there. There is an intended path that is a little bit longer and arguably a little bit easier, but fundamentally most of the jumps that we saw are intended and are required, and that's just the general nature of Treasure World. So here we are doing the Blue Castle before entering the Wing Cap stage. The Wing Cap stage is located in course 2 as well, but we're getting the star out of the way first because it is difficult. It would be less difficult if the stage had parallel camera. Rampy tried to put parallel camera into every stage, but that was before he knew about the tweaks for parallel camera, and he probably just tried to put rainbow light camera into every stage, and in some stages it just didn't work. So that's why course 2 does not have parallel camera, and the star is more difficult than it might have been otherwise. But we got it first try. Very nice. Lies, drop stars on levels with 10 stars. That is actually... I mean, there are star objects. There are objects that are, like, stars in every sense of the notion of the object, but they don't correspond to a valid star ID, and so they don't get saved to a save file, which means we can not really benefit from them in a speedrun. There are no cannons in Treasure World, which some people do quite like. They do like when a Kaiser doesn't have cannons, because a cannon is relatively low content density, and it also, there's not much like skill expression. You just have to know where the spot is, and then you can take your sweet time aiming there. Even cap timers don't run out while you're in a cannon. Yeah, we're in the wing cap stage now. And we're going for the switch. Looks like we messed it up twice. We can fly to that switch, but it's faster to roll pick. we can also walk it to the top of the house and then hop down to the switch. That's what I usually do, but flying to the switch probably is still faster than going to the top. After messing up the fastest track twice, we can afford to do that. So, the stage was in the demo, the wing cap stage, but this star, I think, is the one star that was not in the demo. Lumps Jumps, which we will go to later, also has one star that I believe was not in the demo. So the demo had 4 courses with a total of 26 stars, and in the actual release, those 4 courses have a combined 28 stars. Okay, now we're going for the 1 cycle. We're going to be doing the 1 cycle 3 times in the front, I believe. There is a strat that would be faster than the 1 cycle, but it's difficult, and I've never done it in a run, and neither has Seth, I believe, and Drunkrazy hasn't done it in a run either. So we're going for the tower before the wing cap runs out. We might see it blinking here. Yes, we see it blinking. If that wing cap runs out before we reach the tower, we're dead, and we might be dead at least, and we lose 40-50 seconds. But at this level, that is not really a danger that realistically happens. We can do the 1 cycle relatively safely if we just play at a good enough level. Yeah, there are levels inside levels. The overworld is a platform stage, and inside the overworld we have course 2, and in course 2 we have a camp stage. The layout levels are actually going to get a little bit more complex even in overworld 3, but we cross that bridge when we get there. So here we got the star on the high ledge. That is technically also a 1 cycle, but it's not like the main type of 1 cycle. It's significantly easier because it's a shorter star with the same photosecond time. Alright, now we're gonna need another. We're gonna go probably for another 1 cycle from the looks of it. And we can get either to the alcove from there or to the long valley. Let's see which one it is. Looks like we're going for the alcove, and we got it. Nice. The game audio, I actually don't know what the game audio is like because I have that muted in order to avoid like an echo on my end. I believe it would not really cause an echo.
I can turn up Beaver a little bit more.
Alright.
Is it good on my end though? Can we get a confirmation from the chat?
Can we get a confirmation that Mumania's volume is good? That my volume is good now as well? So now we're going for the valley, which does not need a cap refill, but a cap refill is faster. And now we're going to fly through that valley instead of doing jumps through. This right here is a long wall kick section, that's another wall kick section, and we can skip all of that by just getting a second cap and using the cap to fly to the end of the valley. Alright, take out the Snuffit and grab out the box to get the star. Very nice. And I believe in the current 115 star out we're not going for the red coins, but oh yeah, we did get 1 star in course 2, so we're still gonna have to get 1 more in the week stage. We're gonna have to get the one Beyond the Climbing, I think is what it's called on the single star leaderboard. It doesn't have an official name because it's a side stage, and Rambi doesn't seem to have provided official names for side stage stars. But yeah, we get that star, it's also in a box. And then we're gonna be moving on to course 2. Exiting the wing cap stage, the easiest thing to do would be to just take a death warp.
I lagged.
But we can...
We will still take the death.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, so what we would have done here, if we had not died, would have been to go to the end of the Koopa race and then do a jump to get to the Yellow Castle section.
I'm gonna showcase
That would
that.
have been
so-
faster than a death, but... Oh, we can still showcase that? Okay, let's do that. Good luck. So the wing cap entrance is located on the side, off to the side of the Koopa race. There's a Koopa race path, and you can see that as we get to the end of the Koopa race path, we will be coming up to a pillar, tower, and we can walk it off that tower to get to the Yellow Castle path. So let's see if we guess it.
Oops.
Da, da, da. Right, good enough. Now we're on the Yellow Castle path, and we have... I believe this is probably slower than the Thwomps, but it's slower than the intended path. Actually, I don't know, I don't think I ever, like, learned any timings for whether it's slower or faster. There's definitely more swag, and it's the standard in 115 because you exit from the wing cap stage. So yeah, that is how you do the Yellow Castle in a 115 star speedrun if you're good. And if things go well, now you can do... Now we're going to go to the Green Garden, because we've already done Blue Castle. Green Garden is this path right here. It's the gray path, it just has a green garden at the top. It's actually pretty nice how color-coded Course 2 is. Makes it a very enjoyable stage to look at and play casually and play in runs, despite the camera. Once again, the star is in a box, so we ground pound the box and get the star. There's a second reason why we ground pound when getting a star, and that is that a ground pound has a starting vertical speed of -50, which means downwards, significantly downwards. So when you ground pound into a star, you start falling faster, and that takes a little bit of time. Doesn't really matter much in a Kaizo, but it still saves time, so we still take it, and it's free in most situations. So we might as well go for that. But yeah, when it comes to box stars, it's also a really efficient way to both break the box and then grab the star, because a ground pound doesn't stop moving upwards into the star as you break the box, whereas jumping or a kick would stop moving upwards as you break the box, and then you would have to jump again to break the star. That's why we ground pound the box. Just some little things that don't necessarily connect to Kaizo and just connect to speedruns, but it's those little things that save probably multiple minutes over the course of a run like this, and that definitely contribute to the high level of time optimization that we see in categories like E125 and Treasure World 115. So now we're going to the Koopa race. We have to finish the Koopa race in under like 59 seconds or something, so get your estimates in. Now there might be another thing that... Seth, why are you stalling? Okay, I'm gonna say why he's stalling. He actually has to finish the race slower than 40 seconds. Because otherwise the Koopa might get like quarter frame, or I guess full frame, stuck on a slope, because he would be faster, and we don't want him to be faster on that slope section. We don't want him to get stuck, and so we have to finish the race slower than 40 seconds, and we finish it in 42.8. Doesn't look like anyone guessed that, but yeah. Like, just tries moving forward, and the intended next position is like in a ceiling, and that's why Koopa just would end up not moving forward and would remain in place, and we don't want that. Because Koopa has to finish the race in order to give us a star. Good news and bad news. Alright, now we're going for the coin star. We also have Act 6 selected, which is the red coin star. And the reason why we have to have Act 6 selected is because there are Act-specific wing caps in this stage that are required for a non-jog only completion of this red coin star. There's one red coin that is particularly tough, but also it's just much faster if you use a wing cap. So we're nose diving through this line 5 for some extra coins. Didn't get all of them, we kind of never get all of them, but it's still better than nothing. And now we're flying through the red coins, flying through the stage really fast. We're not even landing to get that red coin, it's relatively difficult.
White chain jump.
And we're going here. Another chain jump. Yeah. Okay, I refreshed and now I'm about 2 seconds less behind. We get the box, we get... we already refilled the cap, I think, and we get the 7th red coin. That red coin, I believe, is gettable before the blue castle section.
Yeah,
But it's really difficult and really scary. And now we're ground pounding. We spawn the red coin star, but we still have to get 46 more coins. So we're going for the blue coin switch, and then there are going to be some bombs to close up the star. Now, did you know that if you land on a 1 and don't kill it yet, it spawns 1 coin per landing for the first 5 landings, and then it still gives you the full 5 coins once you do ground pounded. So that helps with getting additional coins, as opposed to just ground pounding directly, which you might think about doing if you didn't know it better. So that gives us all the coins we need, together with the Goomba. Our cap is about to run out, so we don't fly into the star, we have to long jump. The cap actually doesn't even reduce our gravity when long jumping. We can hold A in most air actions to fall slow with the wing cap, but we cannot do that with a long jump. That's kind of a noob trap. And now we're in course 2 and we're pause exiting in order to be back at spawn with 6 lives and not 5, or... Yeah, we would have had 5 lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but I'm sure it will help. Or at least give some security.
Just the little things. So now we're going to course 5. This platform section is also significantly more difficult than Seth makes it look. It still probably falls under Light Kaizo, but it's not trivial by any means. You do need quite a bit of skill to be able to do it consistently and fast. And now we're going for the 100 coin star. It looks like we're doing course 5 before Lump's jumps. Lump's jump is located in course 5. And this 100 coin star, if I remember correctly, Seth actually said that he was not going to add 100 coins in course 5 when I first suggested it. But then I actually made the route and it turned out to be not paired with the red coin star, and that's actually faster, and it's also less difficult than pairing it with the red coin star. So now we're doing runs, and we've been doing the runs for years. That's really easy this time. There is one thing that we can't do, and that's long jumping directly from here to the walking section, because it would mess up the camera, and then we would have bad camera for the entire rest of the Prime Star, and that would not be fun and would not be fast, because people have to spend time making sure the camera is right. And that would just lose too much time if we didn't have parallel camera anymore. So now we're getting Chaka, we're getting those coins. And in total that's just gonna be enough coins to combine with the central compartment, is what the star is called, star 4. There is actually a shortcut that you can do to get star 4 on its own a little bit faster, but this 100 coin route requires you to not do that shortcut. Instead we're gonna be seeing some fun movement with potentially we might see a bonk. I'm just gonna say that much. And just enjoy the ending movement here.
Also, actually an intentional bonk, double jump.
Yes, that's actually an intentional bonk. That was in my rock demonstration when I first made it, and it is still in the star. The grind double jump at the end into the chakra, like into grabbing a chakra, was also in my rock demonstration. And it's just satisfying movement, satisfying any movement for that 100 coin star. Alright, now we're going to go for either the red coins or the board behind the red coins. Let's see which one it is. Alright, so we're doing the red coins. The red coins have also been rerouted like a couple years ago. We can slide kick down here, which I think we were already did before, but now the improvement compared to the really old route is that we can cross over QSLG and go back down like this. So I don't think we've explained the QSLG before. QSLG is short for Quicksand Ledge Grab. When Mario grabs a ledge, he doesn't die. When Mario stands on quicksand, he dies. When Mario grabs a ledge and gets up by pressing A, he ends up standing on the floor in front of him. When Mario grabs a ledge and gets up by holding the joystick forward, he doesn't immediately stand on the floor after getting up. He can jump just before he stands on the floor. And you can also walk forward that time, so if you keep holding forward, it's actually frame perfect to jump. But if you hold neutral, you have 7 frames. So you can grab a quicksand ledge, not die. Then you can get up by holding the joystick forward. Then you can move the joystick into the neutral position, and then you have 7 frames to press A and never stand on the quicksand and never die. That's how quicksand ledge grab works. And it's a trick that I think was known before Treasure World, but Treasure World popularized it. It's not intended in this position though, it's only intended at the end of the game, and it's on the screen.
Another wall kick skip I did there, by the way, at the beginning of this turn.
Absolutely, there's another. That was another shortcut.
if you think Nintendo is kinda, or did an oversight with the quicksand ledge grabs, there's actually no way in vanilla to perform a quicksand ledge grab. There's no
Yeah, vanilla is
ledge.
very light on the placement of deadly quicksand, and there's actually no deadly quicksand in Mario 64. There might be low jump sand in Tiny Huge Island, now that I think of it, where you can also do probably a quicksand ledge grab and also get a full height jump instead of a low jump. Not 100% certain that that's the case, but it feels to me like that would be the situation in the Piranha Plant section. So it is kind of an oversight by Nintendo, but not one that lets you survive quicksand. But yeah, we got the Boo fight. That one actually took me 5 hours casually. Back in the day, I was a complete noob. And now we're going to get the computer remove star. We already went down that path most of the way, but then doubled back during the 100 coin star. And now we're going to go all the way to the end and grab the star. Yeah, decently sure. Nashi seems to agree with me. The sandy floor that doesn't make you sink grass. It exists in multiple spots. There's also a section in Tauntaun Mountain where that floor is used on a floor that is covered with ivy, with some Goombas. That also gives you a low jump. I'm not sure if those are the only 2 places, but it is a floor that is used at least twice in Mario 64. I am. Bigfoot pointing out you can also do Lakio skip with QSLGs. Yeah. That's the kind of thing that I would not conclude from that QSLGs would also let you jump without facing the properties of the floor. A cutscene trigger seems like a different thing that you might find more reasonable or more likely to be skippable. And now we're going for the big board with power cross. 5 is also a relatively fast course. And with that, we've already covered... Yeah, with that, we've already covered 4 stages with 27 out of 28 total available stars in 33 minutes. Now we're going to go into Lumps Jumps, which is located inside course 5. There's a walk section that you have to do to enter it. And Lumps Jumps has relatively simple music.
It's still one of my favorite songs in the entire game.
Yeah.
Unironically.
Loops relatively quickly. It's pretty upbeat. And this stage was remade in 6 in Visual Green Edition. And it was also one of the 4 stages in the demo. The demo stages were Course 1, Wing Cap, Lumps Jumps, and Course 7. And we just got started. Lumps Jumps is also a very fast stage at times. Made in Dream Edition, shocker, yeah. The texturing actually... I guess the textures were replaced, but the general optical theme of the stage has remained very similar from Visual to Dream Edition, where something like Course 2 or Course 8 did get a major visual overhaul.
Yeah, the name of the red coin star also references the stage. It's like Bon Lump's Journey or something like that.
Voyage.
Lump's Voyage.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Job mentioning something, there actually are other ways to get on a list. For example, you can beat Dream Edition Course 6, and if you submit a video of that, you will also be on a list. Because it's one of the stars that are rated as harder than the new red coins, the new sphere red coins. In Treasure World, if you want to do that, you would have to beat Course 8 red coins, Course 15 red coins, or something major in Super Scream or Bowser 3. I think those are all of them. List mention. Yeah. I didn't start it. Complain to Jar. Complain to Jar.
Pretty sure Jarb didn't mean that list.
Yeah, but I still think like I still think what I said might have been. Right.
Anyway, we're at the first
There
instance
actually is
of a BLJ here. And no, another one.
Yeah, a BLJ to build up some speed.
I don't think we have to explain BLJs, like that's the most standard mechanic everyone knows.
Yeah. In this case, we're not really skipping anything major, we're just getting from one of those green hills to another a bit faster than the intended path. Running out of the classic variety? Yeah, it's possible. We're going to go for
tomato
red
is when you take the juice of the tomato instead of the fruit. Is it fruit or is it a vegetable? I forget. Anyway, you take the juice and then you have a BLJ.
I think it's both. I think it's biologically a fruit and culinarily a vegetable. Like, fruit is just a biological term, something can be a fruit without being used as fruits in the kitchen, and vegetable is something that's purely kitchen-related word, really a fruit-related word, I think. So any part of a plant can be a vegetable, the fruit can also be a vegetable, and it just depends on how you use it in the kitchen. And so, I think the tomato is just both a fruit and a vegetable at the same time, similar to how a carrot might be like a root and a vegetable at the same time. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, here we BLJ to a wing cap in order to speed up the red coin star. Having a wing cap here is unintended. Well, it's an unintended route because we did a BLJ, we're not supposed to have access to the wing cap yet. And it's gonna help us get the red coins up a little bit faster. If tomato is a fruit, is ketchup jam? That's a good question. That's a good question. Really one of the thinkers of our time. Sugar added to make it a fruit, also a possibility. But yeah, we collected the last red coin and now we're flying into the star. Alright, and now for the secrets. The secrets are located on the pillars. And we're going to go to that hill, and we're going to do the BLJ again to the same wing cap. We see there's a star here, keep that in mind. There is a star on this platform. That star has an invalid ID and it's not going to count before a troll star. That is still important to keep in mind because the real star will also spawn on the same platform. Now, this pillar here is kind of mean, it's hidden in a place with pretty bad indication, so you kind of have to just ignore this. And from there we can fly to the other pillars. That's the second secret. Third. There used to be many different routes for this secret star. Most of them started from the wing cap at the top. And we discovered with that BLJ that you can actually do a much faster route like this. And remember that roll star? Yeah, the real star is the one on the left. So now we've cleared lumps jumps, and we can take a death warp. And that's gonna spawn us at in front of the 15 star door. And now we can go to Bowser 1. We're not going to go to course 4 just yet, for reasons that will become apparent in a couple hours, but I can already say them. There's a metal cap. We're gonna use the metal cap, and we don't have the metal cap yet. So we're going to Bowser 1 instead to unlock the metal cap after Bowser 1.
Fortunately, there's also stars here that require a cap, the Vanish cap, but you kinda can't go to Overworld 2 without getting the key, so there's no choice but take 2 trips to this level, or the route changed and we don't take 2 trips anymore, and I'm not aware of it.
There actually is a star in the stage that is supposed to require a cap, or at least strongly intends a cap. And we tend to do the star on the first visit, I believe, without a cap, because getting a cap is generally just not faster. Yeah, this star right here, pretty much above the entrance. It's just a couple of wall kicks. It's by far the fastest star in the stage. But there are many stars in the stage that are fast enough for the run. So we're gonna be getting a couple more here. I think we're going to be finishing the star on stage on 38 stars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
One trip over Road 1 was Darker Times. Was one trip over Road 1 ever a thing in 115? Oh, yeah. There's 3 more stars that we're getting here, I think. And the path spawn. Path starts branching right about now, and we're going for the banner with the fences.
Mosquito moment in my face.
Mosquito. I mean, some would call that a snuffit, but could call it a mosquito if you want.
I think that was an IRL mosquito.
Yes.
That's also possible. And
It was
we're
IRL.
ground pounding into the star.
But can we please call Snuffits mosquitoes from now on, because they are just as annoying.
We could. Let's see how long we can keep that up. Alright, so we're doing some fast movement in spawn again. This section is going to be seen a couple times. It's going to be in every star except for the first one. And now we're going to go to Thwomp, passive Thwomp, into the blue building. That wall kick makes it so we don't have to worry about the Thwomp cycle. It's just generally easier
And also invisible.
than trying to do it. Also invisible? I didn't even know that, thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be... we're just doing a couple of wall kicks, we went past some enemies. Oftentimes in Super Mario Treasure World, the hardest part of a star are actually the enemies. There's a lot of enemies and they can be pretty interesting to dodge. Generally, the hardest stars have jumps that don't rely on enemies. Quite a few of the jumps in the regular stages, especially in the mid-game, just get a lot of their difficulty from enemies, and avoiding enemies might be a really underrated part of the difficulty of Treasure World. And it's a really fun skill set to develop and just get good at, get consistent at. Treasure World teaches a lot about how Heathos work, how Chakras work, how Mosquitoes work, how Goombas work, how Fire Spirits work, how Flamethrowers work. It's pretty good. It doesn't have all the enemies, like it mostly focuses on those that I named. Oh yeah, homing amps as well, how homing amps work. So it can be a good tutorial, a good introduction to those enemies in difficult situations. Here we're going for an insane strat, or like at least a significantly harder strat than Rally, and now we're skipping the cap. So these two coin lines suggest that it might be semi-intended to skip the cap, but the cap is definitely an option for the star. And we're long jumping at a time when pendulums don't get us. That Heathfall falls off because there's pendulums in the way. And now we can go past the fire spitter of the Cycling Amps and break the box. But yeah, those lava bounces, you can do them with a metal cap if you prefer, but it's slower, and so we're not doing that. And that's all 38 stars that we're going to get on this visit to Overworld 1. Now we're going to go for the key. And it's going to be most of the same climb. Super Mario Treasure World prides itself in its requirement of consistency. Like, if you can play Treasure World, you demonstrate that you're able to do platforming sections with enemies and with like 1 or 2 minutes of length. And there's a lot of the same platforming in multiple stars. It might make it a little bit more difficult to commentate, but when playing you actually kinda almost don't notice. It's just what the stages are, it gives the stages their profile. And well, does that sound like exam criteria? I don't know, it just might be my style of talking. But yeah, you can go on top of those pillars, you can even crouch under the flame. I crouch under the Fire Spirit's flame in order to avoid it. Now we're coming up to the tree. There are a couple of different ways of approaching that tree, and we're going to do a double jump kick and a steep jump dive. And we're past it. Go over the throne. It's significantly easier than the other throne, so you can just respect the side and do whatever. And now we're coming up on the Bowser throw with the spinning theme. We've had the spinning theme before in Star Revenge 8. That was one addition that, from what I've heard, was added to Star Revenge 8 after Treasure World. And here it's actually used because the character, Hina, that...
What was that?
you don't have split. The time was 48:12 on the stream's end. 48:12 Overworld 1 exit. Like key 1.5 fade out. And the character with that Bowser 1.5 music, the main gimmick of that character is spinning, so that's why that theme is used. And in Star Revenge 8 it's just used because it sounds good. Yeah, now we're entering Course 6. So Course 6 has a spawn that might be a little bit confusing, but I figured it out and showed it to multiple people at this point, including drunkrazy, and we're just doing these 4 wall kicks and we're out. There's a box there, we don't need the box. I have no idea what the box is for. It's just this is how Course 6 spawn works. Now we're triple jump diving here in order to only take 1 lava bounce instead of 2. And we're going to encounter a box switch, and I believe we're going to skip the box switch. We don't have to... I'm not sure if we have to line up there, but we end up entering the metal cap stage. And we're going to spawn in with the metal cap, which gives us just enough time to reach the cap switch in order to activate. activate the cap boxes in the level. Then from the cap switch, we're going to go to this narrow avatar, which is one of the harder jumps in this game, for sure. It's one of the harder individual jumps, especially in keyboard, because in joystick you can use small magnitude to control your positioning better. In keyboard you kind of have to like get a feel for it and alternate between tapping and not tapping. But this section definitely has a very consistency building skill curve, and if you know how to do it, you can be very consistent and very calm at it, and not really have to worry about it. So that's that star done. One of the hardest stars on keyboard, one of the harder jumps on keyboard. First cycle is that getting the star without getting the cap in the middle? Yeah, I don't know if that's happening. That might happen one day, it's not happening now. No thanks. The XDD appears.
Alright, I see all good for that.
Alright, so we just did an unintended path, I believe, and we're going to do another unintended path. We got the metal cap, and from that metal cap we're going to... I don't think we have time anymore. Cap, so we're gonna have to get the cap again. We might have been able to go for a side flip instead of a triple jump. Now we're just going to have to retry getting the cap. And we're going to try to do the same skip again. This star is at the end of a platforming path, where it intends to not use the metal cap, but we can use the metal cap from the other section, from the other star, and up to the box directly. That star is once again a pole star. It's a completely run-of-the-mill regular star object with an invalid ID, so it's gonna do all the things that a star does, except for changing the flag that exists in the menu. It's just not gonna give you a star if you grab it. It will kick you out, it will not give you a star. Alright, now we're doing the same shortcut again. There's a different path to that section. We're not going for that path, and we're taking this pretty tight timer with 2 lava bounces at the end that can use HP. This is fine, we're on fire, but we're completely fine here. We're getting the metal cap and we're bouncing up the lava falls into the star. There's actually a red coin next to that star that we're not gonna get because red coins in this stage are pretty slow. A change on tweaking, I don't know, maybe it feels like it. Could be a lava interaction, that is possible. Alright, now it looks like we're going for the secrets. Secrets are past the metal cap switch, but we might end up seeing why we don't combine the metal cap switch with the secrets, because if we're fast enough we can... Okay, it looks like we're not seeing why we didn't combine the cap switch, but in theory, and I've seen it in runs a couple of times, in theory you can make it here with 1 HP remaining without picking up the cap, and that saves a very small amount of time. It's worth it, because it's relatively low risk. So now we're doing another unintended strat. We're going to long jump through the heart with a lot of speed, and we're going to get the first secret, the second, the third, and we don't have enough HP remaining, so we had to land back on that small platform, and we didn't manage to do that, so we have to try again. That is a very... those are some very small platforms. It's a pretty precise section if you do it intended, or if you don't have enough HP from the hard spin and have to hit it into the ending of intended. once again, we didn't end up getting the one cycle here. Overall, still, we're 41 stars in. We have made a significant amount of progress in this game. We have almost 1/3 of the... No, we have over 1/3 of the required stars. We did get most of the shorter ones, most of the easier ones, but we're on a good pace, and we're spinning ahead, and we're about to have another trial sequence. 1, 2... Okay, this is fine, we can go back to the heart, and we don't even have to get those first 2 secrets again. I don't think it saves us any time to not have to get those first 2 secrets, but maybe we can take like a 1% more death time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last secret is here. Now we have to... Oh no, we tried to go faster than the amp, and unfortunately... Yeah, I crouch under that amp, but you can go faster, and unfortunately miss the landing on that platform, which means we have to take another attempt. That's annoying. It happens sometimes, and the better you are at the game, the less often it happens, and that is why Zeph has a 3 hour and 2 world record, I believe, and I have a 9 hour and 120 star. And Romania, I think... Does Romania do have a low 4 hour time or sub 4 hour? I forgot.
No, it's a low 4 hour.
Low 4 hour.
I don't know exactly, like it's 4 or 6 or something like that.
I'd have even been a 4 hour flat. 100% on that.
No way.
Not a 4 hour flat.
Oh my
I'm
god!
Okay, oh no. We didn't get the perfect angle. We might have jumped 1 frame too early and not gotten enough turning frames in. Mario can turn for 1/16th of a semicircle per frame, as Sean once put it, in order to reinterpret the ESS acronym. That is actually a trick that I like to do on keyboard if I were to line myself up with an angle that is not in parallel camera. I can turn Mario for 1 frame or 2 frames and get a 100% consistent angle once I check it. But in this case, unfortunately, Mario did not turn fast enough, and we did not end up landing on the platform. 1, 2, we have enough HP. We're landing on the platform. We need to dodge the amp, and we need to fall to go into the star. We went past the amp, and we triple jump. Nice. So now we have 2 stars left in the next cap stage. We're not going for the red coins because they're slow. They're like 3 minutes or something. My cutoff is like 140 at this point probably. We have the watermark star and the mountain star, and we are going for the watermark star. So here we have to bounce on those lava walls without bunking on the non-lava walls. So the walls that would normally be classified as safe are the ones that we need to avoid. And one way to do that is by noting the fact that the lava walls will bounce us as long as we just touch them, whereas the rock walls will only give us a bonk if we're facing towards them at a strongly 45-degree angle. So if we have a perfect parallel 45-degree camera and we hold a forward notch, we can avoid a bonk. But of course it's still really difficult, and I have spent many hours on the star, many people have spent many hours on the start, being consistent at this is a lot more difficult than it might look with that information, because you do have to control your angle and position on a lava bounce section, and that's just a difficult thing to do if what you're most used to is Mario's general moveset. You also just generally have way fewer options in lava bounces than his general moveset. And now we're going for a mountain.
I can also confirm
Yeah,
that star is much harder
damage.
than it looks. I also spent hours.
Yeah. So now we have just a typical treasure world platforming section. We had a metal cap at the start of the section, which allowed us to take an extra bounce without losing HP. Then we have to do some wall kicks to get onto a pillar and do a triple jump wall kick to get from the pillar to the top. In theory, there's a 1-up we can go for, and we're actually going for it. Because it only needs 1 lava bounce, and then we can get the star. Nice. And with that, we have 44 stars, and we finished the metal cap stage. Out of the metal cap stage, we can go for Bully Gear Mountain, the Bully Star. But the issue is we don't have parallel camps, so this is going to be significantly more difficult than if we were going from the start of the stage to the bully fight, because our camera is going to be mixed up for the entire thing. We made it up alive at least, and now we're going to see what the section is like. There is a shortcut you can do here with the heart to go up the wall. And we are going for the shortcut despite not having parallel cam. That is just difficult. That is honestly just annoying. Second attempt. Let's still be faster. We almost made it up. We're so close. Alright, 3rd time's the charm.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet, unfortunately.
Doing something wrong. I could do intended. Nah, we get it.
Yeah, like,
fix cam.
intended... Could in theory do with fixed cam. Fixed cam? I have
Something's
never
wrong.
tried that. Something's wrong. Yeah, I mean, we are going for the hardest combination of camera and strat.
Screw it, I'll do intended.
So we're going to... Yeah, so we tried the skip with bad camera. We're now going to do intended with a bad camera. And intended is to... this coin round to not die, and then do some triple jump wall kicks. Those stars. Those hexagonal stars. And now we're up. We're in roughly the same position that the shortcut would have put us. We're taking an extra lava bounce and we're doing a triple jump wall kick. I think you can also do that with a side flip wall kick. I prefer the triple jump wall kick. Go onto the star and now we have to fight a bully. And this bully fight is actually really annoying, at least for me.
I just
no
couldn't get the
idea
lava
if I-
bounce, the lava fall.
If I've ever been... I have no idea if I've ever been consistent with this, but we managed to do it, and we got the bully fight first try. It's bad camera. So now we're not going to see the comparison how it looks with good camera. And we can do for 6 spawn one. Yeah, good catch by Captain Bowser pointing out that the homing amp gave us an advantage of invulnerability from bully, meaning we did not get knocked around and we were able to grab the star with the invulnerability frames. Yeah, just some fast movement across the clock that is difficult and means that we have to retry it. now we're going to go for the Poison Castle. And inside the Poison Castle is a warp and a star. And we can enter that warp. The warp connects to the top of the house, but instead of going to the top of the house, we can just do a rocket like this, block grab and get the star. Which is quite difficult. It's not ultra difficult, but it is difficult enough that you would only do it in a run if you're either trying to show off or if you're confident enough that you can save time with it on average. Because it only takes like 20 seconds.
I can get to the warp. That'll be cool.
Oh, we tried to do a dive rollout and unfortunately did not reach the platform, and we also did not get the one. I am on low latency, but low latency doesn't mean zero latency, unfortunately. I'm watching the stream right now. But yeah, we're going to go for star 5 here. And the 5 of the clock. The clock numbers don't correspond exactly to the star IDs because star 1 is on clock path 2 and star 2 is secrets. They do follow the general ordering of the stars. Now we're going for a crazy box. That crazy box lets us get into a really high pillar, and from a really high pillar we can get to a box with the star. Rambi really likes to put stars in boxes. I never noticed it until in that section there's also a ledge with a red coin, but we're not going for that red coin because even though that would be the only sensible combination for 100 coin, it is not fast enough for 115 star. I do it in 120, but it's not fast enough for 115. Alright, so now we're going for star 4, which might also have a QSOG at the end. That is another star that I took a while on casually. I actually took longer on it casually than the red coin star. Still pretty bad at thinking at that point. But we have to walk on a narrow light green path and avoid the dark green to the sides of it because the dark green is quicksand and the light green is regular floor. And on the last part of that, we have to avoid a bully, and that's quite annoying if you're relatively new to housing. But we managed to do it. We actually did not get a rocket there, but luckily we bonked back on the platform, and I'm not actually sure where I thought the QSOG was, but it doesn't look like we did a QSOG.
Never seen a QSOG.
Yeah, maybe the QSOG was instead of the rocket that we did.
Yeah, okay.
That could be. I'm pretty certain that I've done that star with a QSOG before, I just don't remember fully well. And now we're going for the secrets. Getting the secret at 5, the small clock end, 4, 3. Those secrets took me, like, they feel scary. They actually didn't take me that long to grind out, but they feel scary on keyboard if you're not experienced. It helps on controller if you can use small magnitudes.
Yeah, one life's not enough.
Just need some experience, and now we're doing a save and quit for being able to restart with 5 lives, because the overall movement can be quite extensive, and we like to have... Oh yeah, we're also going to enter the Vanish Pack, which has a really extensive entrance sequence. It's located in course 8. Course 8 has one of the coolest stars in the game. It's a pretty hard and punishing stage. Lots of quicksand. Not a lot of ledges to grab. And we're going to try and enter the Vanish Cap stage. Cut we can do if we're good and doing enough. Skip the fire spitter, double jump kick onto there. Instant eyeball, pass the Snuffits. And dive there in order to not lose our height with the Snuffit. There's a chuck here, we can go past the chuck here, ignoring it. And momentum double jump or long jump. Unfortunately, we did not time the walk correctly. So we're gonna have to try it. Okay, this might be kind of bad because now we have to bait the fire spitter. Fire spitters are actually inactive for the first, like, I don't know, 5 seconds that you enter the stage. So if you're fast enough, you just don't have to deal with that at all. In the Red Star, you have to deal with it because you go back to spawn during the Red Star. So that might be why we had a strat for that. Really losing time at the start of this stage makes it more difficult, so good clutch by drunkrazy to not really have an issue with that. We're gonna go up the slope again with some buffer kicks. One thing to keep in mind with buffer kicks is don't get more than 29 speed, because if you have 29 speed or more, you will get a dive instead of a kick. Unless you're speed kicking, and you're not speed kicking on the slope, most likely. One thing is, you might get your jump eaten if you just if the slope is steep enough and you're fast enough that you land on the floor on the first or second or third or fourth quarter frame of your kick, you just land immediately, gain very little height, lose a lot of speed from landing frames, and don't get any speed from airframes. So generally that kind of creates an equilibrium on some slopes. And it can catch you off guard if you're not ready. So silly kicks up a slope like this might look uncertain, but there is actually more to them, and you do need some skill to play consistently, even if not easy. Here we managed to get to this section before Vanish Cap ran out. I believe that is intended, but it is relatively tight, relatively difficult. We're going to get the 1-up, and then we're going to enter this warp, which is marked by a slightly elevated spot, and that gives us a star. The sign in front of the pipe tells us not only that we're about to enter the Vanish Cap stage, but also that we should please enter the Mario Can, because otherwise we might get... I think the sign says a crash. I've never actually seen a crash there, but I have seen some weird camera, so just out of convention I'm entering the pipe in the Mario Can, and Zep's doing the same. Then switching to the Peter Can right at the start of the stage. Here we are doing some wall kicks. You are intended to do wall kicks, but different wall kicks, and these ones are more aggressive, more difficult, and slightly faster. Here we're doing some crossovers. Crossovers are a very popular prop in Blizzard, and it's kind of surprising that we've gone so long without talking about crossovers, because it does feel like they're kind of everywhere, but here in Vanish Cap might be the first time in the game that we really see them intended and required. Now we're going for a star off to the side in the secrets area. We're falling off, but we're wall kicking, and we're going to either quicksand left grab, but we're not average on it, we're going crazy, so we don't have to left grab, we can just walk dive past the quicksand. And now we back the wall kick. At the end of this long tunnel is a slightly higher section, and in the higher section is a start. That can be kind of a difficult start. It can be quite a difficult start, and it's very much chokeable. Now, I did mention that this is the bench cap stage, which means it has a bench cap switch, and actually the longest single individual star, that's not 100-point star camp animation, is in the bench cap stage, because we combined with the bench cap switch, otherwise it would not be fast enough. We actually used to have two very similar stars in the route in the bench cap stage, but we noticed that they were so long that only one of them makes sense to get. And so we're only going to get one of those two top stars at this point. Unless something has changed again. The path begins the same way as the path from the secrets area. We're going to do the same crossovers, but we're not going to go to the right. Captain Bowser is going to be honest. It almost looked like
it was.
Back. Could be. It was. Okay. Very astutely noticed by Captain Bowser.
Is Mushy here, by the way?
You're out that drunkrazy. Mushy here? Not actually certain whether Mushy is here. I've seen him before, but
He's hosting right now, right?
Still... who is hosting? Let me see. The reverser of time seems to be in the hosting channel. I'm not 100% sure whether Mushy is actually hosting or Mushy.
He's always chilling in that channel.
I was always chilling in the host channel.
Because if we could pick you guys up for comms, I would close Discord and that would get rid of the lag spikes.
Oh shit.
I don't know how that would work. Nor do you understand what...
I mean, it just says to join the call instead of me.
Yeah.
Join the call?
Mushy has to join the call.
Mushy joining the call. Mushy joining. That could... Okay, I'm gonna add out the thing.
That's okay. He'll come back again.
I mean, you got 4 hours. What's a couple deaths because of lag spikes?
Yeah, true.
I mean, I did lose like probably a potential estimate of maybe 10 minutes to my PB in Silent 8, and then I closed Discord and played on the same pace as my PB. Back in, I think 1.5 years ago at SSRM2025. So lag spikes can matter, but of course, the higher the skill level, the less lag spikes are going to matter. So maybe I'm not going to use like 2 minutes here to lag spikes as opposed to 10. But yeah, okay, so Void is giving a little more information. I don't really know what to do with that, but it looks like there might be people working on a solution. It might be that the solution is just not feasible. And for now, we're going to just have to continue the call as is. And hope that the lag spikes don't get too bad. Alright, so meanwhile in the speedrun we're going for star off to the right side of the stage. There's a range cap here, which means, which is the reason why we could do it at the start of the stage. That's actually the first one that doesn't require a starting Vanish Cap, I believe. That does require a Vanish Cap box. Give it a star. Now, I don't have the splits open, but it feels to me like that might be all of the stars we get in the Vanish Cap stage.
Yeah.
We're at 53 right now. 4 stars, we used to get 5, but as I said, one of the 2 top stars is just too slow. They're both slow, but one of them can be combined with the Vanish Cap switch, and that's why we're still going for one of the 2. Now we're going for the Lighthouse star, for the blue Lighthouse. We're getting it by the end, which doesn't really matter. Lining up the ledge grab and doing a cross out long jump. Kind of annoying with the camera, but it works. Once again, a star in the box.
Actually, just thought about this. Did Randy put the stars in boxes because stars outside of boxes render from a far away distance? Like, do they? I think they do. So maybe it's just hiding stars in plain sight.
That's an interesting theory. I never actually thought of that. Like, that might actually be a really good trick by Randy. To put all of the troll stars out in the up and the real stars hidden in an object that only renders when you're close. Walk section that we did is relatively difficult. Now we get to a spot where we can, if we were doing a long jump, we would have to press Z and A and B and forward in quick succession, which on keyboard can be difficult in some layouts. We didn't do that, we did a single jump, which means we didn't have to hold Z. And now we're going to go for the cotton lighthouse. Which is going to be a teleporter after the walking section of the main path. So we're up to the top again. And this time we're going to the left, and we're off to the right are more stars, more star points, but we're not fast enough for the route. And now we're going to line up a long jump into 2 rockets. There's other ways of doing this section, but they're all difficult. So why not just do this difficult shortcut? That coin indicates a warp. And from the teleporter we can go here. I believe Andrew has once managed to hit a misalignment, and unfortunately the misalignment clipping him onto the floor.
Oh, really?
Which led to him standing on the floor, and as we have talked about standing on the floor, if the floor is quicksand, so it's in death, and he will some time. But yeah, you have to be pretty far to the right on that side foot in order to have that happen. Now we're going for course 9, which is on the top of that tree. Dive attempt. We can save it. I don't know if we have enough cap duration. Wing caps are 60 seconds in this game, as in vanilla, so we should have enough time. Just gonna do the triple jump dive again. that gives us enough height to get to the pipe. Course 9 is a relatively long stage with very long stars, a very long spawn. Most of the stars are 3 minutes long, but there actually are 2 stars that are like sort of on the end of spawn, on the later part of spawn, and those are just barely fast enough to be in or out, despite the course entrance. There also is a 100 coin star combination that I do in 120 star, where you can combine the 100 coins with star 5, and it's only like 20 seconds slower than something like first 1200 coins, which we may or may not see here later in this run. This stage has a pretty long, pretty iconic spawn. It's mostly known for being long. There are a few collision situations that people might call into question, especially at the very end of spawn. But mostly it's just your regular old jumps with some enemies, mixing things up. Kind of like a randomizer, except it's always the same, and the amount of combinations that you get from pairing a regular jump with regular level geometry with one of the enemies is actually surprisingly rich, and you can get a lot of different Kaizo experience from doing a lot of jumps like that. It doesn't really get as old as you might think it gets. But yeah, at the end of that starter camp I was kind of weird. We had to go into Mario camp, I think. And that camera can be annoying. But we're going to do a very similar path again. We're only going to branch off once we reach that big tree, and we're going to go to the upper section of the tree and exit in through the window. From the window you can long jump to the right and continue the stage, or you can long jump to the left. So Katza is scared, and Captain Bowser, noting that Katza is scared, and asking why. Just greeting with a scared emote. Yeah, that works, that's valid. Now, the scared emote, I did like to type that as sacred a couple of times, and it actually turns out that Katza has added a sacred emote that is scared with a little, what's it called, a little ring over the head. Like a saint ring. Hello.
Hello?
Let's put in some hellos in chat. Awesome. Box 5. Alright, I'm not even... That's right, I'm on Chrome, I'm not logged in on this account, so I can type in chat. We're going for the Stealth Stem, Star 4. We already tried to go for it, but unfortunately it came a little bit short. We didn't have the most perfect angle. Didn't go for an axis line, but didn't go for a straight long jump. It's probably no axis line, it's probably like 45 degrees, because otherwise it would have good collision. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like it would have good collision if it was axis aligned, and it does not have good collision, but... Actually, yeah, I think we go for a
Oh
jump
my god.
kick anyway, but I tend to go for a jump kick without an angle. If we're going for a jump kick with an angle, fighting the inverse wall, and we're getting into a slope, doing some wall kicks around the path. Let's start. Yeah. So if you want to know a sentence that is completely fine in German and it sounds a little bit menacing in English, die Box war hell. So, die just means the, box means box, but actually both the verb and the noun are very similar in German and English. War means was, and hell means bright. So the box was bright, the box was hell. We're out of course line now. We're still climbing the tree again because we're going for Mips and Toad. For Mips, we have to gain a lot of height in under 60 seconds before the link cap runs out. With this route. There's a retcon here, we're not going for the retcons yet. It's going to be Mips 2 as well. Right now we're just going for Mips and Toad. Yeah, die Box war hell goes hard in English. So that's the Toad Star. It's significantly lower than Mips, which means that we can easily get it after Mips, as long as we have the duration. From the Toad Star, we can enter course 7. And course 7, as I mentioned, is also one of the 4 demo stages that Randy made and put out in the demo for this game. And course 7 is a very linear stage, so we're going to be seeing the same spawn 6 different times. We are going for the Coin Star here because it's fast enough. And I don't know what order we're doing the stars in, but off to the left we see a star 1 branching
Just
off.
for convenience.
In order just for convenience. So right now we're going to go to the left. And some wall kicks, and that box contains a star. Monkey ball jump scare. There are a couple of different things that you might think of when you hear about the game S&B. Super Monkey Ball is not the first thing that jumps to mind. Seems like an already very accurate acronym for old games. Have to get a triple jump either from the flat ground at the bottom, or you can also try to triple jump from the steep part, and there actually is a star in Comeback Challenges 1 that uses the same idea of getting a triple jump off of a steep floor. That is so steep that you have to go slow to not get it eaten, but here we just barely have enough height from the base of the pillar, from the floor below the pillar, to not have to deal with the steep floor at all. And you can just triple jump directly into the floor. Yeah, we got a star under a platform in the Chakra, giving us a relatively long star fall, but it doesn't really change the fact that the star is easily fast enough for level 15. We also have to get all 5 regular stars in order to make the red coins appear. The red coins are act specific. And they are actually faster per star, because because we're getting 2 stars that faster per star than star 4 and star 5, star 3 and star 5, I believe, secrets and star 5. So, yeah. In 65 star we only get some of the stars in the stage, but in 115 star we get all of them, because it's a play worth it. It's a deceptive stage that feels easy for the most parts, but it has a few tricky jumps. This right here, if you do it with a double jump and then a triple jump, you could in theory force that grab. Now we're going for the secrets. The secrets are not indicated at all, you just have to know where they are. Or play around with 35 them casually. And now we can grab the star. Now going for star 4, we're gonna have to fall off the stage again to get the star. Once again, full climb the stage past the secrets. We're gonna have to do the same double jump walk again, like in the ones where you fall from sledge grab. We have to do the same triple jump into the walkers again. Like quickly from the steep floor, I don't have to. That climb arrow will be useful at some point. It's not really that important now, but it will come in handy later on star 6 on star, because it should promise. Once again, we did not get a full sledge grab, which is good. Now we're doing some faster movement from the start to because we don't have to get the secrets. And here we have to do either a jump dive or a jump kick just to clear the distance. Now let's grab the second lowest one and long jump into the star. That's central for the higher up. They couldn't afford a seat, unfortunately. I wonder how the section would play if you had a shell. Like if this was lava and you had a shell and that one gap was a huge hole. I wonder how that would play.
Kaizo treasure.
Just as one. So once again, the double jump kick, not giving us a full sledge grab. We're platforming over the secrets area. We're going to do another jump dive over here. Going up top doesn't make it easier. We once again want to jump on the ledge grab, this time the lowest platform. And this method also here indicates it well. From there we get to the last platform, probably level. And it looks unassuming and it feels unassuming, but if you actually want to play this, it's really annoying because you could just lose 2 minutes from this little jump. It can be really frustrating. Lose time to this. It's not a stage that I particularly enjoy playing. There also is a flamethrower on that left bar, so you want to switch bars using that geometry. Hidden fires, hidden flamethrowers are something that exists in Treasure World in multiple places, and that is one of them. Just want to deal with that. Now we're getting the bugs. The leftmost bend on the leftmost slope because it has 10 coins, but none of them. That precision is not that difficult because Mario 64 has not much, so once you're in the right position, you don't really have to worry about staying in that position. Mario 64 fundamentally subtracts 6 from the X position and 6 from the Y position on the joystick. So if you're close enough to an up notch or a left notch, you just get the exact notch instead of really getting close to it. And that can give you a perfect up, left, right, or down angle. Which is kind of neat that you have found. So we got the blue coins. Dominoes, dominoes. We're gonna get that red coin next to the chocolate. We're gonna get the chocolate itself. One last go at this time a side flip rocket. Getting a side flip, getting some coins from the secrets platforms. Pass the Evo, now there's a red coin here. Once again, jump down the gap, getting the snuffet, getting that red coin. Landing, ledge grabbing the lowest platform to avoid fall damage. The warp, and the rings at the end. Oops. More times. Okay, that's the eighth and last red coin. We get those coins. We can get the 1-up again. And then on top of this right bar is not a star, but there's 10 coins. You can get them with a double backflip, ground pound, in order to fall faster, and go into the red coin stone. For 7 out of 7 in course 7. From course 7 we're going to move into the overall 1 red coin star. Overall 2 red coin star, I mean. Once again we're going to be combining it with the nip star. 2 nip stars in this game, same as vanilla. And we might unfortunately see a death on the star. It is quite possible. I just want to be ready for that before it happens.
No.
Okay. Unfortunate, but we just have to keep going. Sadly, this is a speedrun, so we did not have time to get the shell to get that red coin the intended way. We just had to, unfortunately, take a death warp. But for now, what are you going to do in the interest of time? We got the wing cap again. Getting that red coin, and once again doing a climb to Nips. And then the last 2 red coins are going to be in the area past the 6-star wall. Once again, we have to make it to Nips before the cab runs out. We do not get a cab refill, but we're fast enough that we don't need one. Unless something goes wrong.
I'm going, okay,
There might
guys.
be inverse walls on that. There might be in those walls past that red coin. But we didn't hit one, we get the mid star. And we're gonna enter the area, continue first 10 2. On a long jump, we cannot fall slow with another jump, so we have to right click to cancel fall damage. We fill the cap. Now we can start flying. To fix our camera, but we're not even doing that because we don't need to. Just let go. Now we're flying, and now we're getting red coins in the 60-star area. Spawning the red coin star, and about to enter course 10. And as you see, the door messed up our parallel camera, but the flying restored our parallel camera. And normally I would do that with parallel camera by just flying at the start, but we didn't even have to do that. Now, leaf ponders the flower, flower ponders the leaf. Mine moves through bus and darkness. Subterranean cities are into 2 parts. We're going to fly into the second part quite a few times. It's going to get 2 stars in the first part of the city, but still moves, so spawn is going to be the same for all 5 stars. But it's not, because we need to get 100 coins for it.
That lag. Oh my god. Yeah, this song's a little louder. Might be harder to hear the commentators.
Yeah, okay, so one thing
Oh
that
my god.
one thing that can happen,
There we
that
go.
can happen unfortunately, is that camera can mess up on the way to the second town. We have to avoid that by long jumping from a relatively low place. As for the rate insane ability,
Oh, turn it up for the Lakitu bounce.
turn it up for the Lakitu bounce. Yay, we got the Lakitu bounce, so now we don't have to go through the staircase, we can just go directly to the star 4 and star 5 ending, so times 4 go. Kind of wall that it's called Zatara's 4 capital. It's not star 4 in the page, it's actually star 5, if I remember correctly. There are 4 roofs on that second town, and 3 of them have a troll star, 1 has a real star. We got the real star. Because the troll stars are not useful to us. Alright, now we're back at spawn, and we actually managed to jump to avoid moving forward too far with that fire, so we did not have to take a death. That was a very convenient play that we managed to make. We only lost a couple of seconds instead of losing more seconds. Now we're getting the 100 coin star, taking out some enemies, getting some coin mines, and we're once again going to go onto the roofs of the town. And from the roofs of the first town, we're going to reach the second town as well. Getting this chuckler here. By the way, behind that window is a red coin, and the stage RTA and single star actually don't get the range cap that you're supposed to use to get the red coin, and instead just get thrown by the chakra in a lucky direction and get the red coin that way. I'm not sure if it's viable for 182 star, but in single stage, I believe Mania has done a run where that is included.
Yeah, I think
Here
I
we
was.
not.
I think I was the one finding it straight when I did stage RTAs for the Treasure World co-op.
Here on the last roof of the first town, we cannot jump into the Snuffet's coins because that would mess up the camera, and then we would no longer have parallel camera for the rest of the stage. That would suck. So instead, we have to wait for the coins to fall to the floor, and then we have to walk into the coins. The RNG is good. The RNG is looking pretty good. I'm not sure if we've missed a single coin so far. We're getting some more coin lines, getting Skull Luck, and we're gonna combine this with Star 2, the Faraway Cottage, Satara's Faraway Cottage.
Crazy RNG.
Yeah, pretty good RNG. This time we're not doing all Aikido bonds because we want the coins from the Aikido and we want the coins from next to the staircase. We're gonna go across the staircase. Actually, yeah, we're only getting 5 stars in total here, I think. Not getting 5 more 100 point stars. There is 1 star 1 that is quite difficult, but we're skipping. If we're skipping it, we're not skipping it for its difficulty, we're skipping it because it's just slow. We had 2 extra coins, we missed 1 of them on the Chucky right here, and 1 of them we ended up getting without needing it. So, pretty good RNG. Here we have to avoid the homing amps, avoid the Snuffit and Fire Spitter while doing some rockets that would be relatively easy if there were no enemies, but because there are enemies, we actually have to do a pretty difficult jump here. It's a pretty difficult enemy, pretty scary enemy, and if you miss it, you lose like 2.5 minutes. Yeah, so now we've gotten both of the stars in the second town now in a route, and we're going to go to the first part of town for 2 additional stars. We have a Vanish Cap Star and a non-Vanish Cap Star, and on the non-Vanish Cap Star we're actually going to see the camera going bad on the non-Vanish Cap Star, and that's the kind of bad that the camera would get if we jumped on the way from the first to the second town. So that's why I have to stay low. And there we go, I think the camera has turned bad, which is why we can.
That's broken already.
Go back. If we demonstrate like you can, that's broken. That's because in Vanilla Course 10 there is a snowman, and the snowman has a situation where something happens to the camera, and that something that happens to the camera messes it up, and then it remains broken and never returns to rainbow light camera. And so now we have to play Mario Cam because Mario Cam is out.
Jesus.
And now we see the section that we normally would do with Parallel Cam instead of Mario Cam, which is the worst camera for the section. Still can do it, but it's not too difficult. Definitely more annoying.
It's sketchy.
So even the star is over a minute. Even the star, which might look relatively fast if we hadn't fallen down. Then it's just a relatively slow stage. And yeah. Now we're gonna go for the Vanish Cap Star. There's 1 more window in the first town, the Vanish Cap in the first town, and Vanish Cap can be used to get the star. And there's lots and lots of windows and some actual stars behind him. But 1 window will just stay in the star. For all the watchers of Portuguese content, this run is for you. Yes, it's long. I actually have the screen muted in order to avoid echo on my end. I don't think it would echo on your end if I didn't have the screen muted, but just in order to not confuse myself. That is a pretty cool music, but it is pretty loud. Bowser 2 is also very loud music. A bit of rockets. That coin, I think, leads to a warp over quicksand, so we don't want to stand on there. And now we're going for the window with the star. We have 74. That is, of course, 10 done and dusted. And now we're going to enter Horizon 2. In theory, we could get a wingcat to fly and fix our camera. We don't have to do that though. We can do that in the background. Yeah, so now we're in a stage with pretty loud music. Some of the jumps might be more difficult to hear. And unfortunately, we did not get enough height on the jump.
Commentators curse, but it's not the commentators, it's the chat. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the host actually, or at least the person chilling in the host channel. Oh yeah, it looks like regular people can also just curse around. So now we have a section where we can do a skip, but we're not doing a skip because the skip is scary and it's difficult. Actually just precise and not worth the risk. So specifically put a lot of time into learning it. I've tried learning it and it's not particularly exciting. Now we're going for the start to the side, to the right, which has a cool walking section. It's a pretty fun walking section, you don't see that when you use it. You don't see that when you see the walking sections. First we're going to go past some hand venues that we're not going to walk from. Just one venue actually. And we're going to do some... yeah. We're going to do some crossovers where we have to go over them instead of to the side. Then we have to enter through a hole and walk it around the hole. And end it up with walk drive over the other wall, dodging the hole. The last section was fun to do. It's fun to do the last. And the other road was early enough that this was still before innovation. Yeah, we're back at the start of B2. We're going to do the same climb again. Treasure World in general has quite a bit of linearity, which is good for players, it's good for consistency, it's good for runs, but if you're just watching and you want to see a showcase, it might make it more difficult on the commentators to find new things to talk about. But as a general game design principle, it certainly has its fans, including myself. We're going to see well-studied movement multiple times to really make sure that the scenario is in place. It can be pretty satisfying to be good at a section, and a red coin star in particular really make you satisfied at how good you are at the sections if you grind for a couple hours. Jumping past the chuck here and the default. You can do that with a triple jump, you can do that with, I think, some rockets, but we're trying to do it with a jump dive and unfortunately did not have enough height. So we're going to have to do the same thing again. That happens, and that's what our estimate is for. The estimate is 58 minutes slower than red, I believe. And we're just going to enjoy another climb on the stage. There are differently angled walls in this section, and it can be kind of weird if you don't know how wall hitboxes work. Definitely something you have to pay attention to and avoid hitting exactly the edge between those two. Something is in between those two walls. Because weird things might happen if you do. But that is just a skill that you should be able to apply. We will pass the shotgun info, and we once again try to jump dive off the long jump. The height that you get from a single jump or a double jump, in this case a single jump, depends on your speed, and a long jump gives you a lot of speed, so you get a good amount of height on your single jump. More than you would on a standing double jump actually. Doing 2 wall kicks and getting a star. Now, in 120 star, I would go for a 3rd star in this stage. But since I'm 115, 3rd star is not worth it, it's too slow. And we're going to go straight for a key fight. And leaving E2 with 76 stars. The fight is going to give us the 2nd key to the 3rd overall. But we're not actually going to go to the 3rd overworld yet, we're going to take a 2nd visit to overworld 1, because now we have the caps unlocked and now we can go to all of those other stages in overworld 1 that we skipped, to visit to B1 and some other places. But first let's enjoy the 3rd time. The 3rd purpose that we're doing this climb for, branching off to the left, we'll meet up and stars to the right. Yeah, Seth had a request for Mashi to get into voice chat. Void already responded with something. I think we can read in Discord and figure out what's going on, if there is something that can be improved. Seth was complaining about a little bit of lag because he had Discord open, and we were wondering if we could avoid that by having a different way to get the commentators' voices into the stream. I'm not an expert on that.
It's not so much the internet, it's more like lag spikes.
Yeah, I guess just computer processing power. The internet speed is not really an issue, it's like Project 64 is an offline game, and we're just going to just need computer resources to be able to play without lag, and unfortunately, browser is holding a little bit of lag, giving us a little bit of lag. Currently our input goes through a drunkrazy stream, that is unfortunate. It sounds like there's not really an easy way to keep the commentators in the stream without keeping drunkrazy's browser open. Here we're dodging the fire, we're actually long jumping right past it, instead of waiting for it.
That's fine then.
Long jumping,
I'll handle a few lag spikes.
Yeah, 2nd return of Hina's theme, we're going to spin also, and that's why the theme spinning character into her. But we're not going to spin Bowser, we're just going to do tail glitch. First we set the flag that Mario is or has been touching Bowser's tail. Then we're going to face into the same direction as Bowser, punch, and that grabs him. So yeah, now we got the key, we're back at the start of World War 2, and we're going to go back to World War 1. not want to be playing a difficult game with those lag spikes. And what's difficult depends on the player. For me, Silent 8 is difficult, or at least was difficult enough to mess me up when I had lag spikes in Winter SSRM2024. It wasn't that bad until I got to the extra course with Katya, and that's when it really fell apart and I had to close Discord and focus just on the game. Here in Treasure World, we have been playing reasonable stages for the most part, but once we get to Overworld 3, it might get really bad and we might have to work on a different setup in order to keep the commentators in the game. We'll see how it goes. Let's see if we can work on a solution. SAS, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm not technically versed and experienced at that, I'm just busy commentating. But Mashi and Void might find something. Let's see. So here in Browser 1, we have 2 stars that we get. We get Vanish Cap Timing and we get Vanish Cap Race. Or simple ways to import. Vanish Cap Timing is an idea that Randy had put into Treasure World, and that was another idea, and it's still not that often done. There is a Vanish Cap Timing section in Supreme Stream that references the Vanish Cap Timing of this stage. We are waiting for a specific point in the timer, and unfortunately if we take too long to bounce on and fly that, we have to miss that, and so we have to re-get the Vanish Cap. Once we're at the correct point in the timer, we start the Vortex, and we walk it up. We have to wait for the Vanish Cap to run out in order to actually walk it on the right side. Otherwise we would fall through and not get the star. I'm not a fan of the timed Vanish Cap walk-it gimmick, yeah. I mean, it is not a very fast-paced jump, I'll give you that. It's not very fast-paced. It was a cool idea at the time. KBR2 experimented with a wing cap timing. That's actually quite a difficult jump. Definitely something that needed a lot of safe state practice for me to get consistent enough to get the star. The Vanish Cap timing, you can like it, you can dislike it, it's a cool idea, and definitely deserves its 90 points in 2016. So now we're going to get the Vanish Cap win for a different style. And we also have the Metal Cap now. We can get the Metal Cap as one, except we don't need it because we already have done the Metal Cap style without the Metal Cap. That's our 39th style in the game. So here there's another Vanish Cap to the left, but we don't need it because we're fast enough to do it in one cycle. And we're getting that star in the box. And that's the 2 extra stars that we got in Browser 1. We're not going to get the red coins. And now we're going to move on to course 4 for the first time.
Woo!
Now course 400 coins used to be not in the route. It used to be out of the route, it used to be too slow. But Bad Boy actually had an idea that made it worth it, as we have to retry the walk-it section because we didn't get a launch grab and we didn't get high enough with the dive. IOF is a heavier game than Treasure World. Yeah, I would agree with that. I've only played a small amount of IOF and a large amount of Treasure World, but I would say that
Oh my god.
KBR2 is a heavier game. KBR2 is a heavier game than Treasure World, and IOF is probably a heavier game than KBR2. And unfortunately we did not get the correct angle. So instead of soldering the cable together, which would have probably broken the cable if I ever touched it, cut the cable off and the breakpoint. Thankfully it was only like 5 inches, and we soldered the cable inside the controller. That way, yanking on the cable wouldn't affect it, since the controller has a thing to prevent yanking from pulling on the cables in there. Interesting story there, I see. Interesting story. So here we're going to complete the walking section and do the rest of the platforming to enter the stage. Now a theme, you can disagree on whether this is Chrono's theme or not Chrono's theme. Placed in 07 in stage 1. It's not a boss theme, it's a stage theme, but Chrono appears as a new boss in this stage, from what I heard. And this stage is a remake of the After the Rain stage in the Satan's boss battle test. Despite the name, it was actually made by Rambi, as was figured out at some point. And so Rambi remade his own stage, and yeah, this is the 100 coin route that was suggested. He suggested going over the star 6 path instead of going for the red coins. And the time did end was faster, and it's fast enough that it put the star back into 115. Now, so we went to star 6, we went to the star 2 area, which is below star 6. We're going for this 10 box, which is scary. I don't go for it. I don't have to go for it, but you can. You can do these voltages to get back up and get fast enough. That way you don't have to whip the shotgun. To get these coins, we have to make sure we don't get negative speed. And we don't need the battle cap for that. We don't need the 10 box in the exclamation box. We can get this shotgun instead of the previous one. And now we're gonna get the blue coins. You can actually long jump from the blue coins to the parasol and get that star catalyst, but it's slow, so we don't do it. That's a coin line. Then we're going to get a coin box. And the coin box only indirectly contains coins in the form of a chakra. So, sorry if you were expecting to not have to fight for those coins in the coin box. Now this is also Chrono's theme, but it's a remix of it, of the Toll 6 theme. And she seems to like the number 9. And the star is called Perfect Maze class in reference to the Perfect Math class that the remix is about. There's, like, the video kind of has Chrono, the music video kind of has Chrono being bad at math and thinking she's good at math. And it's kind of a meme. It also gets copyright claimed because it's not a Toho song, it's a remix of a Toho song, and remixes of Toho songs can get copyright claimed. So we kind of don't want the empty audio playing with no commentary. I don't know how this channel handles that, but just in general, I'm just gonna keep yapping, keep talking about random stuff in order to decrease the probability of copyright claim. I don't really care that much anyway, but just to be safe, I wanna notice that we have grabbed the star. And that's fast enough. Again. Used to be out, no longer out. Probably just got muted, you know. That's possible. That's probably how it would work. Now we're going for star 6. So we're just going to do the same path again. That path is kind of not what you're expected to do in 100 coins. It just happens to be that the 100 coin route is fastest when you do this path. So it's not a star on the 100 coin path. In a casual sense, it's not reds next to stars, but it turns out that in a speedrun you sometimes have to do things that are not the easiest possible. And this is one of those examples. Clifftop Misty Lake. And that is a remake of the thins from After the Rain that are so thin that you literally see people taking a Fly Guy bounce on the red coin star. And yes, those are the same things that were referenced in Second Screen. By, once again, not Second, but Randy. Remade his own jump, and remade his own jump again. Now we're going to the Hailstorm crowns, which are presented by, once again, yellow exclamation mark boxes. Now, funny thing, I think these boxes are probably like empty or something random like that, which means that in Randomizer, those boxes would get moved all over the place, and that star would be, or anything on that platform would be impossible. And there is a way to fix that, and the way to fix that is that Jock ended up putting shells in those boxes, because shell boxes are not randomized. So all of those boxes are probably just empty in the actual game, but in the randomizer edition you could have shells in order to make sure that removing stars should be possible from EDC, unless there's like really random edge cases. And we're getting the red coins now. It's a pretty cool shell section. The shell sections in the room tend to be simpler. Here we actually have to make sure we do some jumps with enough speed in order to get enough height. Similar to a single jump or a double jump, the height or the vertical speed of your jump depends on the horizontal speed that you have. So the more speed, the more height you get from your jump. That's actually also something that you can do in Final Tragedy. If you chain a couple of first frame jumps with a shell, you can, in theory, I don't know if anyone has ever done this in an attempt, but in theory you can get back up from a lower part to
blew my mind, that fact.
not back up, but you can get originally up and bring a shell into a section with a lot of quicksand and cheese a couple of coins. If you do like 30 frame perfect shell jumps in a row, and it's retryable. Also in Assassinated Reminiscence and Bowser 1, you can cheese one red coin by bringing just one frame perfect shell jump after shell jump for maximum speed. Enough speed to skip a section for the red coin. Which I've done, but I've not done the full star save stages. Stage within it. It was a cool stage though. Now we're getting the metal cap, because that's much faster than doing capless. If we could hit the parasol, on a higher part of the parasol. Yeah, hitting that wall is not that easy to manage, but it's definitely manageable at our level. Another option is to go on top of the carousel instead of on the edge, which would make it more lenient, but also a little bit slow. Grab in here and try not get stuck in the snow. Triple jump dive, a couple of bounces get us to the star. Next up we have, I think, the one fight in the stage. Should be the only star left. The rematch on the tip field. This time it was the T that we couldn't afford. This path here, which we've also done for the storm, also. This path is what we used to do in the 100 coin star. We paired it with reds, but you can go to star 6 and star 2 for extra points, and it's faster. Well, this is star 2. We are intentionally taking 6 slices of damage, which is going to make this more scary, but it's also faster. What harm if we do faster? Now, you have to get out of the way of that one pretty quickly if you're not facing downhill. It becomes similar to any other slope. One can eat your jump by making you land on the first possible frame, and then you die because you don't have enough momentum. Unfortunately, we have the lava there, so we have to redo the start. And that is what happens in a safe stateless playthrough or speedrun. Sometimes you just have to redo some stuff if you mess up. That's part of your difficulty. I don't know how bad or how frustrating Kaiser would be if we did not have a culture of safe stateless. We were just free to make anything that was remotely humanly possible and expect people to play it. And only that would let them gain, only that would let them control difficult sections and create difficulty. If we did not have a safe stateless culture, I don't know where Kaiser would be at this point. We're already in a situation with very difficult stars and some pretty crazy jumps. But yeah, in a speedrun like this, it means that we might have to add a minute to the commentary, might have to add a minute to the timer. We need enough estimate to be able to afford that. Save state full super Kaiser. Actually, other states that would be particularly fun. Not less than the person in printer. That is a possible theory. Surely it could not get that bad. So we got the Toad Star, we took a death after the Toad Star. We have 1 life, but plus 3 tends to not be that deadly, I believe. Probably going to save a crit after course 3 though. So we can do a bump flip here. We will skip the door opening animation, unfortunately we miss it. But we're still able to enter the stage because we have at least 8 stars at this point in the game. And with at least 8 stars we can make it into course 3. The reason why we're going to course 3 is late is because there's a metal cap in the stage. Yes, this course. I think this course made Mashi quit, from what I heard once, because swinging back to land is really annoying, and it's probably actually even faster to swim to the lava in some places instead of swimming back onto land. I mean, Course 3 is a cool stage aside from that. It has some fun jumps. And Star 3 has some pretty cool platforming. It's not particularly inventive, but it is just cool song level design. Outside of that one questionable decision of putting water with a very low swing back. And another questionable decision on the left side of the stage for Star 4, which we are thankfully going to skip with. We're going to see what we skip it with. We're drunkrazy, but I'm leaving the stream during Volcanic Brook. It was the hell out of me, and frankly I can think of a whole host of things I'd rather be doing, including playing with a rubber band. Please.
Apologies.
Instead of playing with a rubber band, you could go to YouTube and listen to the song Rubber Band. You will not regret it. I promise.
That would also be an option. So now we're getting the metal cap, and we're using the metal cap to get to Star 2. Star 2 is, I would say, the most difficult star among at least the first 5 of the stage. It's definitely a step up in difficulty from the capital stars. Kind of surprising in Star 2 as opposed to like Star 5. Star 4. But yeah, not a problem with the skill level. And we can collect the star. It is actually possible to do that star without a metal cap, but it's slow because we would have to go to a higher part of the level and take a spin drift. That's not worth it. It's better to just wait until we have the metal cap at this point of the run.
I think that used to be the version of the 65-star round.
It might have been considered. I don't think the star was ever fast enough to make it into 65-star, but it might have been considered. I think in Course 4, I think the capital star in Course 4 was in the all cap switches route at some point. Maybe also the 65-star. Managed to clip past the maze. There's a maze that you will have to find the right exit in, unless you clip through that floor with... I think that floor just doesn't have any tangibility at all, possibly due to some floor overshadowing. It's well documented in the vanilla ABC Discord, if you want to go there. Basically, when you have two separate floors and one of them is sloped, and the game checks which of the floors is higher, and sometimes the game returns the wrong floor as a higher floor, and then it just ignores one of the floors despite Mario clearly colliding with it.
That's a misconception about this stage. It's not snow falling, it's ash from the volcano.
Ash from the volcano. That could be. I remember one time in a randomizer, there was a star right in front of the entrance, and the music in the stage was Hina's theme, the spinning theme, and made a reference that that was the typical amount of time that the theme plays for. Seth got the star in like 2 seconds. dash, we're going to get the piranha plants. We're going to take down 5 piranha plants and collect the star that spawns from that. We just took a health refund in order to be able to do our route. Take care of that piranha plant. Fourth one, I think, and the fifth. To one jump past the rocket section and just take a lot of bounce to get the star. Like so. So that's star 3, 2, 4, and 1 done. Now we can do star 5 together with 100 coins. Next specific spawn. We're usually in a different part of the level at the start of the star. But here we have an act-specific spawn, and we have act-specific rare coins, which make the 100 coin star more efficient. And that's also one of the reasons why we need to get other stars in order to unlock this 100 coin star here. I believe I considered 100 coins and star 3 for 65 star, but it ended up being worth it. It's tied with 1.4 if I remember correctly. Is finale clip next? It might actually be next. I'm not sure of the exact order throughout, but finale clip is definitely an option. Getting those coins. There's going to be a blue coin switch upcoming. That's certainly something I can mess up. I'm going to get the metal cap just to make things easier with running it, but it helps. Getting those 5 coins. Taking care of the... We not like our angle. We might not like our angle. Oh, we miss a blue coin. That's gonna lose 5 coins.
The other Goombas. They're gone.
Yeah, we took out a Goomba with the metal cap and we took the coin.
Nice.
We're taking care of the snowman.
This guy then.
We have 85 coins. That should be enough. We also have a chucking. And it seems like we have to go for the chucking that we don't usually go for. But we're fine. We still get both 100 and that constant. And we take an extra lava bounce, but we just barely still make it on. That is a troll star in a box, I believe. So we knew that real stars are in boxes and troll stars are out in the open doesn't hold universally. We take a save and quit in order to refill our lives, because we're going to go to World War 3 and we don't want to game over World War 3. World 3. We have the light chakra setup. This light chakra actually spawns into the stage at a pretty good position and angle to allow us to do this light chakra. So we might have the NVSC earlier had to do some more involved setups. We only have to do the ending of the light chakra setup. And if we mess it up, we can simply re-enter over 3. Yeah, the NVSC knows the script. and is really good at it. We are good enough at Chuckya to get it essentially first try. Throw Chuckya to get displacement and clip through the door. That warp takes us to a pipe to the finale. And the finale has a lot of enemies and relatively easy stars. It could be argued as potentially the easiest stage in the game, especially if you choose the fair star that we saw next to the third red cone. I cheese that in runs because I'm not good at intended. But there are ways to unfortunately lose time in this stage. If you miss some pillars, you might have to swim in order to push through. And that can be
Oh, let's go.
a lot of time. Let's go. Yeah, we don't have enough stars to enter the finale normally, but the intended star count rule in ROM hacks is that you are only not allowed to skip something that would allow you to finish the game, reach the final boss stage, without the star count that you're supposed to need for that. Basically, if you're in a situation where you could finish the game without another skip, then you have to have the intended amount of stars for being in that situation. Otherwise, the run is not an intended star count run. And from the finale, there is no way to finish the game directly, which means that it doesn't matter that we only have 94 stars. Yeah, like, there are different thinkers coming up with different ways of defining intended star count. We tend to agree on pretty much anything, including that in the Stream Edition we should not be able to get the stars in the lower part of B2, or like the B2 side of B3, if you want to define it. So, like, in the result we agree on things in terms of the exact wording of the definition. There are different schools of thought, and it can get relatively complicated. But all we have to worry about here is clipping past the 120 star door doesn't let us beat the game, therefore we're allowed to clip past the 120 star door. We get 7 extra stars. And we are getting bodied by a chain jump. And past the chain jump and collect the stars. I mean, Extreme Edition 50 star is just a separate category. It's not IC. It's... yeah, it is an easier category. It's a legacy category, similar to 10 star in both 74 and 50. 50 star and 10 star are comparable to 16, 31, and 50. It's cool. It doesn't follow IC rules. It doesn't have to follow IC rules. It's just a cool category to have. Like, universalized rules, generalized rules that apply to many different ROM hacks. Like, you can name 200 different ROM hacks and they all have a sensible interpretation of IC, and either equals 100% or any percent or it doesn't, but it's always sensible. Sometimes you want additional categories beyond any percent, 100% and IC. Sometimes it can be more fun. I have previously run a couple of all cap switches runs, for example, which can be pretty fun and are generally shorter than any percent NIC. In SSRM 3.5 you can run with no overall skips, or like no major skips, where you don't enter a stage without going through the checkpoint that lets you access the stage. No major skips is also something that could be introduced, but generally it's not that popular.
It happened.
What is popular
It
is
happened.
the 50 star.
It's me, Mario.
Oh no, we soft locked. We're gonna have to reset the game and re-enter the finale, which means another Chucky clip.
Is it even worth it to go for that star?
I feel like it's probably still worth it if you first try it. It's the only star. Actually, time, like from a purely speedrunning perspective, it might be worth going for the central star in course 15 instead. But we can take one attempt at the light Chucky clip, and if we can't get it, then course 15 star 3 would be an option. It would genuinely be like, I actually don't know how much time the light chocolate clip takes. It probably doesn't take that long. You also have to respawn. You also have to death warp after the finale. I'm actually not certain. It would be interesting to time, like, if you soft lock on the last star of the finale, is it better to still go for that star? Reattempt Light Chakra, or is it better to get course 15 and star 3?
Course 15 star 3 is already part of my round. If anything, I would do like first 12 secret or something like that.
Yeah, or course 12 coins, perhaps. I didn't know that course 15 star 3 was back in, I thought only once. But, yeah, I keep forgetting what the route in overall 3 looks like. I do remember it used to be in, and then it was cut because it was too slow, but...
Fun fact, that happened in my very first attempt.
Your very first attempt of Treasure World 115.
Yeah, back in 2018.
That's
But back then I sucked at light Chucky, so it wasn't much worse.
Okay, the NVIC did 13 light Chakyas via edge and 1 light Chakya via water earlier today. It's pretty impressive. I only did 2.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, so it looks like we did not take a death warp, perhaps for the extra life, because we're going to enter a long mountain, which is also a relatively long climb from the start of the game, so we just don't want to game over. We're going through one climb, and the mountain is about halfway up the climb. There's 1 star at the start of course 11, and then the rest of the stars are all after the end of the main climb. Unfortunately, we did not hit that platform. Did not have enough height on the kick. So we're going to start the climb. You might think that Crown Climb has a lot of the same platform, and like on a very atomic level, that is true. But in terms of the jumps that you do, it's actually more diverse than you might think. And it can be pretty cool to figure out. No, you did not miss Rolling Mountain, we're just starting it now. By the way, if you're still interested in commentating Phantom, I saw you reacting to the request message. Could be an interesting time together in the voice chat. But yeah, we're doing Rolling Mountain, we're getting 2 stars here. One to the left, one to the right, and none in the main climb. So this is where the paths branch, and we're going to the right first. Just in time for 72.
There's no corner physics there? What? Oh my god.
Yeah, it looks like the corner physics are good on that. If you know nothing about corner between 2 walls, there is a 50% chance that the corner physics are good, and a 50% chance that the corner physics have an unreferenced wall that you want to walk along. So generally, if you don't know very much about the walking section, you want to try to avoid going into the corner. But one quarter of walker configurations are actually such that you get the good corner physics that work completely like normal, and then you can say something like that. And as a level designer, I have absolutely no idea how to make the corner physics good. I just know that, like, the triangles are in a processing order. That processing order is deterministic once the level exists, and you just have to deal with it being either one way or the other way. It's always going to be one of the walls is referenced, the other is unreferenced, and which one is which just depends on your perspective and your context. Frames patch removes corner weirdness, yes, it also does a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm not sure why it had to all be in one patch as opposed to being multiple tweaks. So we have an option, we have a patch that removes it and changes a bunch of other things. It, for example, leads to a bunch of unit perfect clips in 10 years after. In SSRM 0, it's a pretty solid patch that improves some things, and I've not seen anything worse. So in SSRM 0 it's good, in Drunk's Junk I think it's absolutely necessary. In 10 years after, I kind of disagree with its existence. Yeah, the NVSC does not like frames patch either. In the general case, I want it to its events because it just changes too many things. Especially if you understand in the ISO64 collision, frames patch just gives you so many black boxes where you have no idea how things work and how things are supposed to work and what's intended behavior, what's a bug. The best way to have a fair gameplay experience is to understand the gameplay experience, and if someone tries to improve something by changing a behavior and doesn't tell you exactly how it works, it can make things less fair. Like, I know for example frames patch rounds corners. I've seen like one picture of how the corner is rounded. I don't know what exactly it means, so that's something that's less fair than corner to me. If you don't know vanilla collision, then vanilla collision might also be less fair. Be less fair than frames patch to you. Then you might just not have watched much Pancake. But yeah, we got 1 star with bad camera, and now we have good camera for the star. Waiting for the info, taking it a little bit safer. Don't get a star with bad camera. No, I guess I got distracted when we were talking about frames patch and physics. Not for one topic. Here we got a gold find that we could have converted into a double jump, but we tried to one jump and that gives one pound. Because Mario 64 only has 3 movement related buttons. The A button, the B button, and the Z button, and that's a lot of complexity from just those 3 buttons. Which is a pretty cool concept. Like, there are some games like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV where you have 20 abilities and each ability is on a different button, so it gets really cluttered in terms of your hotkeys. In Mario 64 you do have like 40 different abilities, potentially. Might be more like 20 in most situations. But all of those abilities go on 3 buttons on the joystick. And that makes it less of a cluttery game and more of a strategic, one thing flows into another game. So for example, if you press the A button on the ground, then depending on your... Yeah, I found that at some point. Said it might not be worth it, and now we're going for it. Because it generally just saves like 5 seconds or something. It's kind of scary, but if you learn enough of the game, you can do scary things. Like that quick jump. Get away with it. That was one of the more recent things that I found in Treasure World. It's still like 2 years old at this point, probably, or 1 year. Back in the day, we used to go to the right path and then one jump to the middle path for the star. Now we can just triple jump from the left path to the middle path.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So in chat we seem to be talking about ways to make new level packs for Mario 64 new level packs. There are decomp castle, I don't know. I don't think I've heard of a particular decomp castle. There are puzzles with custom mechanics, but I think they're all in binary. Not the stage with... No, we're not closing up the stage yet. I think we got 2 more stones to get. This is the right path here. So previously we used to jump from roughly here to get to the new path. We have to avoid the heat wall, avoid the fire, and avoid an invisible. And the way you avoid an invisible in this game, you can ledge grab. A ledge grab puts you from in front of the wall to past the wall, and if an invisible sits directly on a ledge, if it sits directly on a ledge, then a ledge grab just teleports you past the invisible. This is like half a second, but it's better than bonking down. And it's also better than dodging, which is maybe like 99% consistent if you're good, but it's also probably not even fast with latch grab. Yeah, that latch grab, I think I introduced that and people adopted it because it's generally just the easiest way to deal with an easiest one like that. Yeah, now we got the backstar and left path left. We're not gonna bother with the 100 coins and net coins because they're generally just too slow. We've done this path before, but we're gonna continue further this time. Not just to the Evo, but we're long jumping here, long jumping there to the Goomba, and back on the star platform, and back on the pentagon platforms. That's Nuffet once hit someone on the way to the star. That was kind of cinematic. Didn't happen this time. Alright, the star at the start of the stage. Let's do something after it. So here we also have to do a triple jump, one kick, left grab. And then from there we can get into this item box. From the item box we can into this pentagon and do a triple jump dive to skip most of the star. Now we're at 106, we only need 9 more stars. 5 of them are going to be... No, 5 of them would be my round, but we're only going to get 3 of them, I think. Like, we have so many coins, we have so many stars already, but I think we're only going for 3 stars. Just not going for coins. We want to talk good opinions. The opinion that plus 12 points is not worth it is a good opinion. Plus 12 points is generally just a difficult and barely fast enough star. So not going for that is actually just the right call, unless you're a complete undercoin enthusiast. Or so good that the difficulty doesn't matter. So, we see a star behind the gate, we're not going for that yet, we're going for a different star. And we're starting off the stage with some more clicks to get to the castle with most of the stars. And in the center of the castle at the top is the path to Star 2, climb the castle. There's also a blue coin switch. The blue coin switch is not in the 100 coin route because it's not fast enough. But we're gonna deal with this one by going under it. Walk on this wall. And dive into the star. Once we enter Starfall, we are safe from the He-Fall. Even if the He-Fall moves under us, we're still going to complete the Star Dance animation. In Star 0, there is a star in course 6 that's next to the He-Fall, and there you actually do care about the He-Fall because it's non-stop, and most of the time the He-Fall is fine. We're gonna see that later in this marathon. But here, the stars are not non-stop. You don't care about where your head is once you've got the star. We're going under here. So platform across the levels. This is another level with bad camera, and if it had good parallel camera, it would probably be one of the cooler stages for me. But unfortunately, it just... The Rainbow Ride cam that Rambi tried to put in the stage probably just didn't work. And Rambi didn't look at Star Revenge 1.5, Star Revenge 8 to see good parallel camera. And so we just ended up with this partially working parallel camera. Yeah, unfortunately, sodium chloride wasn't able to make it healthy enough for the commentary today. So now we're left. We still have... We're left with the Switch Star in course 12. There's a gate switch, as I mentioned. Apparently I can fill them shoes just fine, says Captain Bowser. And we're going to get to the switch. There's going to be a walking section on the way to the switch, and the same walking section on the way back. But you have to approach them differently, and the camera makes them pretty involved and very different from each other. For size 43? You're the bear! You're the big bear! How does the big bear only have size 43? You gotta step up your game, man. I mean, I don't know if size 43 means the same thing in the Netherlands as it means in Germany. Germany size 43 is not big. It's also not like ridiculously small, but it is on the smaller side. We take another save and quit because we want enough lives for course 14, 15, overall 3 reds is upcoming. Once we get to B3, there is a 1-up we can get on each death, so we have unlimited attempts at B3. But we do want enough lives for course 14 and 15. 6 stars remain, and first of those 6 stars is the overall 3 red card star. This one's pretty annoying because once you take a death, the camera messes up, and we do intend on taking a death. Exception that you don't want to take it without getting red coins, because getting red coins with red coin is quite annoying. So we have to get both of them, which means we have to survive one of them. And only death will be second. Now we get those 2 red coins, the course 12 area, and right to the spawn. And we're going to go to path course 13. Course 13 is not fast enough for 115 star, it is fast enough for 120 star. One reason why 120 star has so many extra stars over 115 is because 120 star and 1.0 doesn't go to the finale because the finale simply doesn't exist. So we don't have to get 5 extra stars, we have to get 12 extra stars on 120 star. 115 is the more popular category and the more optimized category by far. And we did see a light chocolate to the finale, so it was worth it. Really, one would attempt the light chocolate right after the right coins. But yeah, manipulating the chocolate that's not worth it. We want to use the fact that the chocolate is in a perfect position as you approach. As you approach the light chocolate clip. And now we're into course 14. Course 14 also not bad. Why do so many stages in Treasure World have that? Like, why did the vanilla devs code up a Rainbow Ride Canyon that is so weak and malfunctions in so many places? Oh, thanks for me. Yeah, in Dream Edition, there's a star called Toxic Tennis Stadium.
The time is
In
between
stage
18 and
races.
22 seconds. Take your guess.
Between 18 and 22 seconds. I'm going to say 19.2. Okay, we see a 20.9, 19.4, 20.1, 19.0, 20.0. Spider-Pig says did not finish. And the correct time is 19.6. Looks like nobody guessed that on the spot. And closest was Captain Bowser. And that was a light chuckler via text. Just if you wanted to see how easy a light chuckler can be if the game cooperates. Now we have 6 lives, and we're going to get 2 more stars in course 14 and then 2 stars in course 15. So in course 14 there are 2 stars on the left path, 3 stars on the right path, and the con star goes across both paths. The left path is too long for this run, it's not worth it, and it's also the more annoying path, so we're just not going to see it, thankfully. It is genuinely my least favorite section in this game. I mean, even Submystream 23 red coins is... I haven't done it in a star, but the problem with that is, if there's a problem, is not in the section itself, but its placement in the star. Course 14, left path, genuinely just has my least favorite jumps in and of themselves. But we're not going to see those. We did the Koopa race, now we're going to do the star directly at the course 15 entrance on the top of the building. And the last star in course 14 is going to be the invisible walkers, which genuinely would be worse if they were visible. Like, if those walls were visible, the star would genuinely be worse than it is.
I don't know if I agree with that.
So, don't know if you agree with that. Interesting. Like, the camera is just so bad that if that was not invisible, you just would not be able to see Mario.
I mean, that's the perspective, but like not being able to see like the arch, it's the big difficulty.
Yeah, but like, as long as you can see Mario, you can kind of imagine where the walls are. If you only saw the walls and didn't see Mario, you would not be able to imagine where Mario is. So like, invisible walls, still better than completely covered and obstructed Mario, I would say. At least that's like my imagination. Maybe I'm just good at imagining walls and not good at imagining Mario. But it's a really annoying style either way. Simply because of the camera. We get a perfect angle from a ledge grab here. Yeah. So we line ourselves up with the walls, and we see the arch, and we get the arch. Very nice. Now we have 8 lives, so we should be pretty safe going to course 15. From course 14 to course 15 is the only place remaining in the climb where we don't have access to a runner. So that's the only place. I guess actually going from B3 to the fight is the only place. So it's almost the only place where we realistically are going to lose lives, because dying in course 14 is not going to lose us alive, and dying in B3 is also not going to lose us alive, since we can so that they're not collectible. So we're on a pretty good pace here in terms of meeting the estimate. We have 50 minutes left, which means the world record time has already passed, but we have held it together pretty well. And 2 stars and we're 2 stars and a final climb away from finishing up this run. It's not timeless, it's insurance. Yeah. Machine understands how marathon runs work. In a world record attempt, we might not be going for those ones, but in a marathon it makes perfect sense. That would also be that a run that gets close to being over is probably less likely to world record anyway. Whereas a run that gets close to being over is likely to be, I guess, completely very likely to happen during the marathon, as a run that does not get close to being over. So it makes more sense to play safe during the marathon and the record attempt. In terms of specifically avoiding game overs, as opposed to other forms of playing safe, like not dying, not losing 2 minutes. Now unfortunately we missed this arch here. This arch is difficult enough that I tend to go for a perfectly perpendicular angle. Yeah, the intro is Pokemon intro. The theme is a remix of a mashup of some Pokemon theme and the Phantasm Boss theme. 7. Is there a desync between what is the question? Video trails ahead of audio. Oh yeah, I agree with that. There does seem to be a desync in the gameplay video and gameplay audio. Now there's no audio. Is there like... Now there's audio. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it was just during the refresh. Nice bait, nice bait. So now we're getting... Now past spawn we're getting star 3. And after that we're going to go for the coin star as well. The coin star. The coin star is long. The coin star is too long. So that's starting stage. But it's also pretty difficult. I haven't done it myself. Is it decent? I don't know. I don't want to check again. It's too many things, too many echoes. So I'm just gonna open it. I'm just gonna open the video a bit. Just hoping that there's something behind the scenes that we can do to fix this. drunkrazy's microphone would desync after 4 hours, but we're not 4 hours in.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So that would be the problem. Yeah, drunkrazy sounds completely normal. So, Mui, what do you think about this run so far?
Me?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm half falling asleep in my chair, so that's why I'm barely talking.
Yeah.
This run is perfectly fine. Like, this is maybe a bit too fast, man. Like, slow down, please. We gotta keep the estimate going.
Yeah, I did one D-Rush yesterday, that was it. My practice.
Yeah, very nice preparation for this run. Most of your preparation was definitely in the many years leading up to this that made you as fast of a player as you are. Like back in the day, drunkrazy used to get times of like 3 hours 30, 3 hours 20, 5 hours 28 like, for example. Now we might get this time not in the middle of a grind, but after one D-Rush round, so definitely a significant improvement. Interview on. Yeah. So Mashi is asking drunkrazy whether we can restart the stream when
Restart the stream?
there's a good opportunity. For example,
I have to?
after the start grab.
How bad is the desync?
So
Yeah, I'll wait here.
when I
I'll restart the
listened, it
stream.
seemed to be like 1, Stay tuned. This
They can't hear us.
should be.
No, they can hear us again.
Right, that's right. The audio was on drunkrazy end. So yeah, stream should be back.
Yeah,
And
go
we're
on.
doing
We are
breakdances.
back.
Okay.
We haven't been told. We've not been told how many breakdances to do, but I don't think we need that at this point, and we can go again.
Still desync?
Yes.
No.
Is still decent? Well, we tried. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's much we can do at this point. Tried refreshing the stream, we even tried restarting the stream. Unfortunately, that seems to just be something that we have to forward. Let's try. But yeah, have you tried turning it off and back on again? Expert in chat, Mashi64, definitely better technical advice than I would have given.
Good enough for
Most
any
of the time-
IT support.
Most of the time it should work, unfortunately in this case it did not. After a while it resets. Let's hope it does. Let's see if it does. So there are people saying that there's a desync on one of the audio channels in the shell theme if you let it play for long enough. Like one of the instruments seems to be offset by one beat. Generally, it might just be a feature of IS theme that some of the beats are just offset by, some of the instruments are just offset by one beat, especially the drums, and I feel like it gives the song a pretty nice feeling, like getting your news delivered with a beat that's offset on 2 and 4. It's a pretty cool type of beat. It's popular in Eastern Europe, I heard. And it just gives the song a really good vibe. Got it? Called Placebo. That could also be. Maybe it's not even offset at all. Maybe it's just completely insane. So we're in the later parts of course 15 now. And we've gone past the last main jump. We're just doing one long jump over the quicksand, entering the 115 star door, the reason why we're doing a 115 star category in the first place. And we have 7 lives to spare and are entering B3. Now, B3, the difficult climb. Anyone who has attempted to run 115 star knows that this can genuinely take hours or even cause a run to be reset entirely, even if you're not going for a fast time. Even the world record, I think, uses like 2.5 minutes to a death.
Yeah, I was sub 3 here.
Yeah. Like, even if you think that this stage should be consistent or is consistent, it can still go wrong, and it's just the sheer length of the stage. There's no individual jump that should go wrong or that should scare you, but there are so many jumps that you could mess up. And statistically, unless you're really good, you will mess up one of them a good amount of the time. Sometimes it goes perfectly, sometimes you first try it, but especially at my level, and even at drunkrazy's level, it can go wrong. The metal cap being course 6 of Vanilla and of Treasure Road. In Star Road, it's in course 4. Nested levels work to a decent extent. Star Orange 8 had very deeply nested levels. Star Orange 4.5 also has nested levels very deeply. Treasure World has a couple nested levels. It's still mostly overall based, but the ending, final climb to Basel 3 goes through course 14 and 15. That's the most deeply that Treasure World gets nested. Dream Edition is far more nested. It even has a couple of alternate entrances. The Tower Tech 1 also has nested level and also has alternate level entrances that are nested, but the main entrances to the levels are all overall based. The Tower Tech 2 is completely nested with alternate paths that are also. I mean, it's basically like Super Mario Bros. 1. But yeah, here in Treasure World, we made it past few of the more notable jumps. Wall kicks through a hole and wall kicks past a thin ledge. Coming are going to be some pillars. We have to, for example, jump cut on. First we have to dodge a heave. Double jump kick, double jump kick, double jump kick. And getting our first distance on that is scary. It's definitely possible to die to that. Dodging the heave on the chucker. Getting a fire spear. Not done to a skullbuck. There's another heave that we have to survive. We could wait long, but why wait longer if you can wait close? And here, perhaps the single hardest jump in the ISC climb. Dealing with that Snuffit, that mosquito, and the Blind M at the same time, almost on the platform. Definitely a difficult jump to get consistent at. Now I have some crossovers that look intimidating, but significantly easier than it has come before. And now an angled triple jump wall kick. Dodging the circling M. You can go over the throne or under the throne. In other cases, we can finish it off with some quicksand ledge grabs that everyone going for this has died to at some point, even if they were not two quicksand ledge grabs.
Probably the safest B3 you ever see me do. Whew.
Do. Insert kills or GGF.
Alright, first try B3, nice.
First try B3, and now we're going to throws. And after the throws, we're going to get the Grand Star, and the Grand Star is going to end the time. We are blowing up the estimate. We're going to do a tail glitch for the next throw. That'll be only a real throw. Which we will have to hit in order to
Might be my marathon PB.
Might be drunkrazy's marathon PB of 3 hours, 27 minutes, and yet to be seen amount of seconds.
Yes! Oh.
Good game everyone on the Good Game Drunkrazy on the 3:27:46 according to the time on screen.
That was a pretty good overall
Very
clear.
nice. Yeah, very nice run. Nice run itself.
Thanks for all the
Good
GGs.
game.
Appreciate it. Big thanks to Ever for sticking around for the whole commentary, and Movie as well, of course.
I mean, Eva was tanking the entire commentary.
Yeah, Eva
because
carried.
I was falling asleep here.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we had like one awkward pause 1 minute in, and from there on out I guess I didn't leave much room for other people to start talking. Might have just been more active than I've been so active that other people didn't feel much of a chance or much of a need to contribute or to fill up any voids in the commentary conversation.
Yeah, you did very well. You did very well. Do I showcase something or what happens
Yes,
now?
please. Well, you have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we want to make estimates, we could try like cost 1200 coins, for example.
I was thinking
If
more
you're
of
still
TD Reds.
comfortable with that. TD Reds would also be an option, yes.
It's me, Mario.
And I could see if I could stick around to commentate at Tsukmi's Dreamlock coins, if you would like.
Oh, wait a minute. Cannot be on this file. Whoops. I've done that
And
mistake
not be
before.
on this file,
Mario.
Like Chucky.
because we we're still missing 10 stars for entering Zukun's Stream. Alright, so let's attempt Zukun's Stream red coins.
Or does anyone have like a filler run? Because I have to get dinner. Okay, I'll do one attempt, and then it's your problem.
So we're going to enter the stream. I was just kind of pondering whether I should suggest whether I should offer to do an all cap switches run of Star Revenge 3. That might be a little bit silly, and it will be very nice to see Zukun's Stream as a mashup of all of the stages that we've seen in this run. So we start with the wing cap stage.
Yeah, I think I will do
One
that.
red
One
coin.
attempt and
Yeah, Zukun's Stream has 1 red coin for each stage in Treasure World, including Zukun's Stream itself. And we started with the wing cap stage, house with the wing cap switch. Now we're in the course 1 section, Aslan Park. We do a quicksand ledge grab that I believe is not intended. That makes the coin significantly easier. After that we have lumps jumps, and if you might remember what I said earlier,
whoa.
wing cap, course 1, lumps jumps, and course 7 were the stages from the demo. And those are the stages at the start of Zukun's Stream, so that could
Dude, I was
be a
just like
nice
praying that I wouldn't get lagged during the B3 SLGs. That shit was scary as fuck.
Yeah, that lag was kind of scary. And now we're in the course 7 section. We can long jump past these holes, and this time we do have to jump on the slope, but it's less steep than in course 7. We walk up here, and we're past the course 7 section. We're in the center of the stage. The center of the stage doesn't belong to anything in particular. And we go to the Vanish Cap path. The Vanish Cap path starts off with the crossovers from the Vanish Cap stage.
That lag spike, dude. What the
Red
fuck?
coin,
Oh.
red coin at the bottom of the crossovers. And we have to go up, arching a bit, and that is the end of the attempt.
Okay.
So now we could consider a Star Revenge 3.
If you'll allow me,
as well.
I would like to move on and go have some dinner because I'm starving.
Okay.
One more.
So I'm gonna start opening OBS, and I'm gonna see if I can fill the space. Unless someone else wants to start a run, on the
Yeah,
fly.
thanks everybody once again. Be back tomorrow with an IOF run, late night.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.